creating local and global variables. I've opened up Scratch and I've saved this platform, so you should too. We're going to keep coming back to this file, so just assume the rest of the videos are based on the platform file. Okay. Right, now this sprite 1, if you notice down here, it's highlighted in blue. That means we're looking at this object. I can look at the backdrop as well. I'm now looking at the stage backdrop, and you notice a lot of all the motion things have vanished because you can't move the backdrop. I go back onto sprite 1 and they've come back, and this is to do with motion. Now, how Scratch works. Well, I click on an object and I can program it. I can give it certain behaviors. Those behaviors themselves are categorized into motion, moving, events. We'll come back to events, but effectively when you click on something, control. This is where we control the flow of data. Sensing, and the sensing is when you are listening for something to happen. Operations, you can see there's lots of plus, minus, greater thans, less thans, and looks. We can change how Scratch looks. Sound, we can make, in this case, you can see there it says meow, we can make Scratch meow. Pen, you should have explored already by making Scratch the cat to draw something. And today's most important one, data. This is where we handle variables. Right, so I'm leaving it on data. Okay, the first thing we're going to do now in data is I'm going to make a variable, and that variable is going to be the X and Y position of Scratch. Remember, if you look at where the mouse goes now, you can also see the X and Y of the cursor as I move it around. So on this screen we have effectively a graph where the middle is X is 0 and Y is 0. So we move up to the top, Y increases. So we move to the right, X increases. So we get to the very top there, and we're about X of 240, Y of 180. Go to the bottom corner there, X and Y are both minus 240 and minus 180. Okay, so we're going to make two variables, one for X and one for Y. So I go and make variable. Oh, make sure you are clicked on Scratch, and that has to be outlined in blue, not the backdrop. Make a variable. Now here's the key thing. I want to make this a local variable. The reason for that is it's going to be the X only of Scratch, not of anything else. So where it says for all sprites, it's very important I click on for this sprite only, because we're actually going to be reusing that letter X as a variable in lots of different things. So if we are not careful and we make it a global, then everything would have to be in the same position, and that would be a rubbish game. Here we go. So I say X for this sprite only, and click OK. You can now see in the top corner there it's sprite 1 X. So we know that that is the X position only of the cat. I'll make another one which is its Y for this sprite only, Y, and click OK. Really important you get those two right. If you do globals, you'll have to go through and delete all your X and Y codes, and that takes a long time. Okay. So I've made now my X and my Y, and they are local variables, not global variables. Okay. There's going to be one more, which I'm going to make now. This one, however, will affect everything. It's just the speed everything falls at, and that's gravity. And I'm going to keep that for all sprites, so that we can use it with every sprite, and everything will either fall or it won't fall. And click OK. There we go. So now I have a global, and you notice it doesn't say sprite 1 in front of it. It's that simple. We've made our local variables for X, our local variables for Y, and for gravity. I can test this quickly. I can do an event. I can use the event is going to be when you press the green flag. I'm now going to go to motion and drag in my go to X1. And you're probably familiar with this. At the moment it's just got two numbers, 0, 0. If I go back to my data, I can actually now take my X and drop it into there. And you see how it's now orange, not white. Same with the Y. If I run that, it will always just go to 0, 0. And the reason for that is we haven't actually set up what the position of x and y starting position is going to be. And we do that with the set command in data. I'll put set. Now, say I wanted Scratch to start at the top there, in the middle, but say at about 160. So I'm going to leave set x to 0. Remember, x is across, so that leaving in the middle, or her in the middle. And now y I'm going to set to 180. When I run that now, and when I run that now, she starts at the top. It's that simple. So what I'd like you to do is to click on the sprite 1, create your local variable x, local variable y, global variable gravity, and then create the code where you have the setup phase at the top there, and you can set her to go to x0, y180 if you do that now.